Hey, it's your girl Beverly, and I'm back with another episode of my video podcast, Slow Your Roll, Girlfriend. I've been officially quarantined in my home since March 29th. That's when our mayor decided to execute stay at home orders. And then the governor jumped in and made it basically mandatory for the entire state until April 29th. So next week, I could be running barefoot and fancy free all over Durham or still stuck in the house. Chances are I'll still be under some quarantine because I'm actually kind of leery about going back out since this virus just seems to be out of control and we're getting all kinds of misinformation about, how it's spread, how you can come in contact with it, et cetera, et cetera. So, since I have an underlying condition, I am definitely going to exercise the side of caution. So, I just want to take this opportunity to talk about not letting the coronavirus make you lazy because it can. Because we're all cooped up in the house, either, with an entire family or you and your husband, or it just may be you by yourself. And what do we normally do when we're bored? We normally eat, drink, and sleep. And yes, I've been doing all three. But I'm trying to find other ways to be active and to keep myself entertained so I just don't feel like I'm going into boredom hell, so to speak. So, while these tips may not work for you, I'm going to share some of the things that I've been doing in order to just make me feel good about me. First things first is every day I get up, I take a shower and I actually put on clothes and jewelry and my earrings and I try to do my hair even though that needs a lot of work. Because if I just get up and I don't, try to make myself look better, then I'm going to feel like I look. And I don't want to do that. The next thing I do is I have a library of books, right? So I'm now going back and looking through books I have not read and seeing what I want to read. Now, I've actually received this awesome book called Jesus and Those Bodacious Women, which was given to me by my girlfriend Maria. Recently, and I have started reading it. So I'm going to continue to read that. And you know what? Hey, you can read more than one book at a time. I've done that. I've read, As a Man Thinketh. As a matter of fact, I try to read that once every few months. And then I've gone back and I've looked at some other books. I've even actually read some of my own books that I've written just to remember what I've written. The other thing that I've done this for years, so this is not like something I've just started doing, is keeping a journal. Because during this time, you have an opportunity to just kind of let all your emotions out. What are you feeling? How are you feeling? What's going on in your world? What's going on in the world of your family? And every now and then, what I do, since my journals go all the way back to the 80s, I go back and I read what my thoughts were. And I'm always surprised at where I was at some point in life. This journal dates all the way back to 2012. So, I go back and, for example, I say on October 3rd of 2013, I got the eye of the tiger. I am dancing through the fire. And that was an excerpt from Katy Perry's song. And I say, I heard this song twice this morning on the way to work. This song inspires me. I am a champion. You're going to hear me roar. This is my new theme song. So it's always interesting to go back and, read what I've written. The other thing I like doing is taking a trip down memory lane in another way, and that is going through old family photo albums. This one commemorates the year that I took my grandson to Ohio after the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship in basketball. I was so excited to go. I and I, wanted to make sure that I captured the pictures and just the whole experience so that I would never forget them. And it's always nice to go back and reminisce about this trip. And I also have some other old photos that I've gone back and looked at it, involving my daughter when she was just like 3 and 4 years old, and she's now 30 years old. So it's always nice to reminisce. And the other thing is I like to do is I like to feed my brain with interesting articles. So my husband and I are members of AARP, and every month we get their magazine and their newsletter. And I always read the interesting articles. Like there's one in here that talks about the secrets of married couples, and Viola Davis and her husband are on the cover, and I absolutely love Viola Davis. So I haven't quite read this one yet. I've read about Marlo and Phil, who I can't believe how good they still look. I mean, God, they've got to be in their 80s. Maybe not, but anyway. So, and the other thing too is just get out and walk in your neighborhood, or go, if the parks are open, which I know a lot of them aren't, but go somewhere where you can just get in tuned with nature and, meditate and pray. And that's something that I really enjoy doing, is just being close to nature, because I feel like when I'm out there, I'm so close to God, and I can, just kind of pour out my thoughts. Even though some people may think I'm crazy, but if I'm talking out loud to myself, but it's just my way of staying connected. And while I'm out there, I got my little, this is an MP3 player, in case you didn't know. Most people have iPads, but I'm still stuck in the 20th century or the 19th century or whatever. But anyway, this comes in quite handy, because not only can I listen to music when I am working out, I can also just walk around the house, doing housework, and have my ear plugs plugged in, and listening to some music. So, those are just a few of the tips that I have. If you have some tips that you'd like to share about how you can keep yourself from being lazy while we're self quarantined during this pandemic, please share them here on my YouTube page. And this is just another piece of information to help you stay empowered along your journey. See ya.